It's 9:02 p.m. local time. Along Venezuela's western coast, a warning tone suddenly breaks the silence inside a radar room. A fast-moving track appears low and close to the coastline. No civilian code, no response. The system processes the data, then flashes a label that tightens every face in the room: F-18. This is not a weather return. It looks like a US Navy fighter flying right along the edge of radar coverage, careful and deliberate, as if testing how far it can go without crossing a visible line. Phones light up. Orders overlap. Air defense crews begin powering systems. No one raises their voice, but every movement is faster now, sharper. Then the track fades. No turn, no climb, just gone. The alarm keeps ringing as the room goes quiet again, and now they face the choice that defines the night. React to a target that vanished, or wait and risk being too late if it returns, knowing the next alert may not disappear. What just happened in that radar room is not a random scare. It matters because this stretch of coastline is one of the most sensitive zones Venezuela has. Ports, air routes, and shipping lanes all run close together here. Every radar station in the area stays active because one mistake can open a hole straight toward the capital. If that aircraft was real, Venezuela was forced into an impossible position. Scramble fighters and you burn fuel. Expose response routes and show exactly how fast you can react. Do nothing, and you risk looking weak if a US jet really was that close. Either choice carries a cost, and that is the point. This is also where the pressure becomes strategic. Each time alarms go off, air defense systems power up, radars change modes, communication lines open. From the outside, those reactions tell a story. They reveal where sensors are placed, how long crews take to respond, and which systems come online first. Even without firing a shot, valuable information can be collected. For the people inside that room, this is not politics. It is stress, fatigue, and the fear of being blamed for the wrong call. They know that one bad decision could turn a tense night into an international crisis. And they also know the other side understands that pressure very well. This is why moments like this are dangerous. No explosions, no missiles, just two sides testing how far they can push without crossing the line. If you think the US is sending a message and Venezuela is being forced to blink, press 1 inch the comments. If you think Venezuela should hold its ground and refuse to react, press 9 and subscribe to follow what happens next. The first response does not come with shouting or panic. It comes with movement. The radar operator zooms in on the last known position, while another technician pulls data from a secondary site along the coast. For several seconds, the screen shows nothing. That empty space feels worse than a clear target, because no one knows if the threat is gone or simply hiding. Then the signal flickers back, weak, unstable, just strong enough to force a decision. A senior officer steps forward, close enough to see the pixels on the screen. He speaks slowly, keeping his voice low. Log it, timestamp it, track every change. No one asks if this is an exercise. Everyone already knows it is not. Down the corridor, air defense crews receive the update. They move on instinct. Power levels rise. Systems shift from standby to ready. Headsets press tight against ears. No one talks unless necessary. Every action is controlled, but the tension shows in small details, like hands gripping equipment longer than usual. Someone finally asks what everyone is thinking. Do we scramble fighters? The reply takes a second too long. Stand by. Confirm first. That delay carries weight. Launching jets exposes routes, timing, and readiness. Holding them back risks being late if the aircraft is real. This is the pressure point. The response itself becomes part of the test. On the radar, the contact shifts slightly. Not a sharp turn, not an escape, just a small change in angle, as if whoever is flying wants to see how the room reacts. A technician notes the altitude stays low, right where radar coverage is weakest. The room grows quiet. The hum of equipment sounds louder now. No one sits. Coffee cups stay untouched. Every eye stays locked on the screen, waiting for clarity that never quite arrives. This moment explains everything. No missiles, no explosions, just stress, doubt, and the fear of choosing wrong. If you believe the US is pushing limits to study Venezuela's defenses, press 1" the comments. If you think Venezuela should respond harder and force the issue, press 9 and subscribe, because what happens after this first response could shape the next move. The escalation does not arrive as one big move. It builds in waves, each one heavier than the last. A new radar return appears slightly west of the first position. Not sudden, not aggressive, just different enough to trigger another alert. Screens change color. The warning tone resets. Conversations stop mid-sentence. In close situations like this, small details matter. A few degrees of movement can mean the difference between losing a track and holding it. A few seconds of delay can decide whether jets stay on the ground or launch into the dark. A supervisor orders a controlled increase in readiness. Raise alert level, but keep discipline. It sounds simple, but everyone understands the risk. Turn on too much equipment and you reveal your system layout. Stay too quiet and you risk being blind at the wrong moment. Outside, nothing looks unusual. The ocean is calm. The night air is still. No explosions. No engine noise. That silence becomes its own kind of pressure. Inside the room, every beep and every flicker feels louder than it should. Fatigue sets in faster than expected. Eyes burn from staring at screens. Shoulders tighten. A young operator blinks hard, trying to stay sharp, knowing one missed detail could follow him for the rest of his career. This is how escalation works now. It drains people before it ever destroys hardware. On the screen, the contact strengthens briefly, long enough for someone to capture an image, long enough to confirm this is not random noise. Then it fades again, pulling attention with it. The pause that follows feels deliberate, as if someone on the other side is waiting to see what changes next. The room understands the pattern now. This is not about crossing a border tonight. It is about forcing reactions, keeping defenses active, and testing how long crews can stay alert under constant uncertainty. If you think this pressure campaign is meant to wear Venezuela down without firing a shot, press 1" the comments. If you believe Venezuela should escalate and draw a clear line, press 9 and subscribe, because the situation is moving closer to a point where restraint may no longer hold. The twist does not come from the sky. It comes from somewhere no one in that radar room can see. While defenses stay active and crews remain locked in place, a different kind of pressure hits. Reports begin to surface that a tanker tied to Venezuela's shadow oil network has been seized. Old ship, switched flags, tracking turned off. The kind of vessel used to quietly move oil and keep money flowing when sanctions are tight. To the outside world, it sounds technical and distant. To the people in power, it is a direct hit. Oil money keeps the system running. It pays loyalty. It keeps ranks quiet. When that flow is disrupted, pressure moves upward fast. This is when the pieces start to connect. The air activity, the constant radar stress, the silence from official channels. One side keeps defenses awake. The other side squeezes finances at the same time. No explosions, no headlines about war, just a tightening grip. Back in the radar room, the screen stays mostly empty now. No clean target, no clear exit. The crew does not know about the tanker yet, but they feel the change in tone. This night no longer feels like a warning. It feels like part of something larger already in motion. The most dangerous part is that nothing looks dramatic. No missiles launched, no borders crossed. But the balance shifts anyway. Quiet moves replace loud threats, and those are often the ones that matter most. If you think this pressure is meant to force a breaking point without open conflict, press 1" the comments. If you believe Venezuela still has room to push back and survive the squeeze, press 9 and subscribe, because the real consequences of this twist are only starting to show. The climax does not explode into noise. It tightens slowly, like a grip that refuses to let go. Back in the radar room, another alert sounds. Shorter this time, sharper. A return appears almost where the first one vanished. Same speed, same low profile. The operator does not react with surprise anymore. He reacts with focus. His finger traces the track on the screen as if that could hold it in place. A senior voice cuts through the room on the radio. Hold position, no sudden moves. It is a warning, not just an order. Air defense crews freeze in ready stance. Hands hover inches from controls they are trained not to touch unless told. Sweat runs down backs despite the cool air. No one blinks. Everyone understands that one wrong move here could turn pressure into fire. The contact holds for a few seconds longer than before. Long enough for confidence to build. Long enough for doubt to grow even faster. Someone quietly says, "It's steady." Another answers, "That's what scares me." A technician checks the clock. The seconds feel stretched. Each one carries weight. If a launch order comes now, it will change everything. If it does not, the silence will still leave a mark. In the back of the room, a generator hums louder than usual. Or maybe it just feels that way. The air smells faintly of warm electronics and sweat. Then the screen flashes. Not an explosion, not a strike, just a sudden burst of signal brighter than before, followed by silence. The return collapses into nothing, gone again. For 3 full seconds, nobody speaks. No alarms, no orders, just the low hum of machines and breathing that sounds too loud in the room. A junior operator swallows hard. Someone exhales like they have been holding their breath for minutes. The officer finally breaks the silence. Maintain alert, log everything. And in that moment, the truth becomes clear. This was not about crossing a line tonight. It was about proving control, showing that one side can appear, disappear, and force reactions at will without firing a single shot. If you think this was the peak of a calculated pressure campaign by the US, press 1" the comments. If you believe Venezuela still has options to flip the situation and respond on its own terms, press 9 and subscribe, because this climax may only be setting the stage for what comes next. When the night finally loosens its grip, there is no visible damage, no smoke rising from the coast, no wreckage in the water, no emergency speech on television explaining what just happened. But inside Venezuela's defense network, the effects are already spreading. Crews rotate out slowly, faces tight with exhaustion. Logs are reviewed line by line, screenshots are copied and backed up. Every reaction time, every radar mode change, every spoken order is written down because someone will ask later who hesitated and who did not. Even without a single shot fired, the cost is real. Fuel was burned, systems were exposed, people were pushed to the edge of their focus. On the other side, the signal has already landed. The point was never to cross a border or start a fight. The point was to show how close control can get, to prove that pressure can be applied whenever needed, and that defenses can be forced awake on command. This is how power is tested now, not with explosions, but with stress and uncertainty. At the same time, the financial squeeze continues. Shadow oil routes face seizures and inspections. Payments slow down. Cash becomes harder to move quietly. When money tightens, loyalty becomes fragile. Military pressure and economic pressure begin to overlap, and that overlap is where governments feel the most strain. Across the region, other players take notes. Neighbors worry about spillover. Allies measure how far they might be pulled in. Armed groups near the border see both risk and opportunity. No one believes this was an isolated incident anymore. It looks like a rehearsal, a way to measure reactions before something bigger. There is also a quieter impact that lasts longer. Trust inside the system weakens. Second guesses appear. Crews replay the night in their heads, wondering if the next alert will be real or if hesitation will cost them more than action. For Venezuela, the lesson is uncomfortable. Defenses can be activated, but they can also be studied. Staying alert protects the country, but it also reveals how that protection works. For the US, the message is clear. Influence does not always need force. Sometimes it only needs patience, timing, and the ability to make the other side react. And here is the part that should not be ignored. What happened tonight was controlled. It stopped short on purpose. The next encounter may not end with a fading signal in a quiet room. It may demand a decision that cannot be taken back. If you think this night was only the opening move of a larger pressure campaign, press 1" the comments. If you believe both sides will step back before it turns real, press 9 and subscribe, because the next move may come suddenly, and it may not come with a warning.